Daily Mail. Windrush outrage. Agony of mother who says Home Office betrayal killed her son. And basically he was probably getting on a bit, and they told him he was actually an illegal immigrant, and the stress just got to him and he popped it. So yeah, the Home Office is guilty of at the very least manslaughter, but you know, who are you going to prosecute them with? You know, the corrupt courts. Good luck with that one. May's new plastic crusade. PM in dramatic pledge to ban all plastic cotton bud straws and drink stirrers. Now, there's a massive push for this, and you've always got to look what's behind it. And I'll let you lot do some digging into that, but I have a good idea. And of course, TVO's Dale Winton dead at 62. The Mirror. Dale Winton dead at 62. Parasite alert. Royal wedding exclusive. Meghan's brother. Our family is torn apart. He claims she'd forgotten her roots by refusing to invite close relatives. I've got ages to go yet, and I'm already sick of hearing about that bunch of parasites. Oh, apparently the Sun is 25p less than the Daily Mirror. Wow. Oh, the Sun. The last straw. Yeah, there's more to this than meets the eye. £5 off Iceland if you spend 30 if you're having a massive barbecue. Tribute as Winton dies at home. TV Dale dead at 62. Supermarket sweep and lotto star tragedy. Well, it's a tragedy, you know. He had a life, he done lots of things, and now he's gone. The Times. Terror on flight 1380. How former fighter pilot saved jet. Apparently the engine blew up and he landed the plane. Yeah, done exactly what he was supposed to do. Why the Sun means more work for women. Cotton buds and plastic stirrers will be banned for sale. Buyers in despair at badly built new homes. Underhand Bovis delaying essential repairs. Yeah, they don't build them the way they used to be built properly. They build them, they just chuck them together nowadays. Government accused of overcharging for citizenship. Especially when you consider they access their bonds as well and rake up all the money there. The picture, of course. Parasite. The Guardian. Chaos as PM fails to get grip on Windrush. 2 attempts by May to quell crisis for Tories over deportations end in failure. This is racism. He was the victim of their policies, and it is a tragedy. The mother of a man caught up in the Windrush scandal who died suddenly last month after being classified as an illegal immigrant and losing his job has spoken of her anger and horror. Revealed how Dr. Asperger aided the Nazi project. Instagram's new rogue subculture. Well, so far today there's not a lot in these rags. Star. 10p cheaper than the Sun. It's a price battle, you think, wouldn't you? Apparently it's 40 years of Greece. It's still the word. Of course, John Travolta is cross-dressing, likes swing both ways anyway. Telly legend Dale, dead 62, blazing a trail. Meg's so smart. Oh yeah, because she's so smart. Because it takes a real lot of smartness to get someone to tell you what to wear, and then for you to actually wear it. Oh, it's so smart. Express. Can you crack the world's toughest crossword? No. Summer's here, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, but only until the weekend. So nowadays summer lasts for 2 days. And this makes the news because normally they chemtrail the skies out so much that we don't have any summer anyway. Sick Britain. NHS crisis as 22 million suffer 2 or more chronic conditions. 1 in 4 lives could be saved with better patient care. Britain is facing the gravest health crisis in NHS history as 22 million people battle multiple diseases. Latest worrying research shows. That is because of the chemtrails, the chlorine, there's fluoride in the water, the poisons in the food, and that's because the parasites all have their food grown in greenhouses, watered with purified water, so that they don't get all the chronic illnesses that they're pouring onto the general public. Even Mr. Nice Guy Dale died at 62, yeah. Independent. Viva la revolution. Castro era at an end. Yeah, just be filled by another dictator. With President Raul Castro retiring this week, Cuba waits on tenterhooks to greet his anointed successor. It'll just be another one of the same. I suspect he's just retiring. He's going to piss off to some desert island somewhere so that when the shit starts coming, he's out the way. Rudd under pressure to quit after Windrush death. Right, so for the argument's sake, we'll say it was all Rudd's fault. This bloke died, yeah? And so therefore she's guilty of manslaughter. But she won't get charged with that. Will she even quit? Well, it's possible. Doesn't mean she will, but it is possible. And if she quits, what happens then? Yeah, she just goes back to being a normal MP, carries on getting her normal wages, just all expenses and all that sort of thing. Well, that's the way you rock when you're an MP. Member of paedophiles, we do it differently. We just do it differently. Telegraph. Queen Anna Corgis, the end of a very special relationship. Why Mrs May's government isn't Conservative? Yeah. Boris, we must take a hard line on knife crime. Foreign Secretary calls for greater use of stop and search to stomp out gang violence. Right, this is a push for martial law, where you can be walking down there, because you see what they do here. The majority of you will think, I haven't got a problem with that. I'm not carrying a knife. Yeah, that's true. But you'll still get searched, and then you'll get used to getting searched, so you won't question being arbitrarily stopped and searched for no reason whatsoever, other than the fact, well, we want to search you. It's all a push for the New World Order dictatorship. Shall we go al fresco, Mr. Trudeau? Oh, well, that evil satanic bitch will get on with that evil satanic bitch. Both paedophiles, both Satanists, both scumbags. Both need removing from this plane. An April scorcher, but beware, with the sunshine comes smog. Right, an April scorcher. So now 2 days worth of sun justifies it being called a scorcher. 76, the hottest summer on record. The whole summer was hot. Not just 2 days. But, they don't want you to recall that. Anti-Semitism is in full sight in Europe, warns Israeli president. that evil satanic scumbag. It's laughable when someone that's such an evil git warns about someone else that's also an evil git, or apparently. Britain's Brexit deal with India, surprise fall in inflation, hero pilot saves passengers after engine explosion. Britain's war on plastic. I'm not having a war with plastic. No way. I ain't got time to have war with plastic. Plastic's fine. Plastic can just carry on. Plastic, this camera's made of plastic. Plastic's fine. Plastic straws will be banned in England to stop 8.5 billion being thrown away every year. England joins Scotland to outlaw sale of plastic cotton buds and drink stirrers, major source of marine pollution and lethal to wildlife. PM praises British public for taking leading role in cutting global waste and protecting oceans. What a crock of shit. I've told you why the plastic ends in the oceans, because the council dump it there. But that's all part of the plan, because they can blame you. Yes, you gave it, you consciously gave it to the council thinking they were going to deal with it correctly, and they dump it in the sea. And that's by design, because then they can say, you scruffy dirty gits, you throw all your plastic straws and that in the sea, when it's the councils that are dumping them in the sea. We need rid of all councils immediately. The government has to go, and not just the Conservatives, the whole government structure, because it's a slave structure. But whether it will or not is down to you lot. I'm very impressed by the amount of others that are talking in pubs and restaurants and cafes and that now, because it does seem to get in through. But you've got to keep going. We've got to keep talking about this till everyone knows. Everyone's aware of at least some of the corruption that's going on, and together we can bring an end to it. Metro. Reef-stricken, crisis on corals that we may never see again. Former fighter pilot who saved stricken jet, maintains the tables on Corbyn and Windrush. Yeah, it doesn't sound like that from what I've just been reading. Hottest April 19 ever! Bullshit. That isn't the hottest April, I guarantee it. Spring scorcher forecast as Britain swings from snow to golden glow. Yeah, it might be an okay day at the moment because there's some blue sky, but I'm sure they'll chemtrail it out soon enough. Financial Times. Balance of power. Chinese arms sales signal loss of US influence in Pakistan. End of the ride. Sorrell's exit pulls plug on the media merry-go-round. Assad's brutal logic. Why the Syrian regime embraces barbarism. Right. We all know, you, me, and most of our friends know, no chemical attack happened at all in Syria. The kids that were dug out of this rubble, they were stolen earlier, buried by the white helmets so they could dig them back up and make themselves look like heroes. Got to get past this part because that's what they've done. Plain and simple. Bigger picture. Caribbean row clouds summit. And the pictures, of course, of the satanic Luciferian Satanist Trudeau with the satanic Luciferian Satanist Khan. Unilever faces mounting investor rebellion over Rotterdam switch. FTSE exit worries big funds. Tough battle for September vote. PR drive to win support. Right, well, there's absolutely nothing in the papers worth reading. Save yourself some money. Don't buy them.